Margaret. I'm a cradle Anglican. I became a reader in the Diocese of Southwark in 1988, and I have served in the Church of the Ascension since then. I wouldn't have stayed a member of this church for over 30 years if I hadn't felt that it modelled a life of spiritual growth and the possibility of service to the community. I enjoy being part of a community which is loving, which is supportive, but which is outgoing in the local community and in the wider community to an extent that I've never experienced before in a church. If there is one thing that I react against very, very strongly in the church, it's the use of the word tradition to mean intensely conservative. I am a traditionalist. I believe in the tradition of the proclamation by Paul that in Christ there is neither Jew nor Gentile, bond nor free, male nor female, but all are one in him. And I think that's the tradition that we need to live out. And it's no good just proclaiming it, it's no good just having it as a slogan. We've really got to mean it, and if we mean it, then we will include everybody within that orbit. I'm very sad that at the moment the Church of England is dragging itself along behind what we've now come to call the secular world, because I think that the secular world is setting us an example. The secular world has moved on. The secular world has realised what values we should be trying to live by, and we don't seem to be able to behave convincingly in a way that suggests we've got the message. I feel about the debate a sense of incredulity that it's still happening. I'm old. I was at the debate in the House of Commons in 1975 on the final reading of the Equality Bill, and I thought, oh, this is a great step forward. Now we're going to move towards a real sense of the equality of men and women, and it'll be in the law. And a couple of years after that, I was at a service in St Martin in the Fields to celebrate the ordination of the first woman in the Church of Canada. And I thought, it can't be long now, that we must be seeing some progress soon. And in 1979, I was at the inaugural meeting of the Movement for the Ordination of Women, and I thought, yes, this is going to be the time when the breakthrough happens and women are going to be recognised for all their gifts, and men aren't going to be threatened by women anymore, and we're going to have the same status for women in the church as we have in my profession, which was teaching, or that there is developing in medicine and so on. And so I really have to shake myself to think we are now in 2012 and we're still going over this ground, we're still rehearsing these arguments, we're still stuck in a quagmire of introspection and navel-gazing, and it appalls me. I think ordained women must look at women in other professions and think, why can't it be like this in the church? Why can't a woman be recognised for her experience and her expertise, all the qualities, the calibre that she brings to the job? If I were a woman priest and I knew that my role was to be endlessly restricted, I would be frustrated to the point where I don't know how I would go on. I think that women should fulfil the role that a deacon is required to fulfill, a priest is required to fulfill, a bishop is required to fulfill, without any reference to her gender. I mean, this is just so obvious that it feels banal saying it. I just think that the situation at the moment is untenable. It makes the church a laughing stock, and it deprives the church of a group of women who would be assets. They wouldn't be liabilities, they wouldn't be a problem, they wouldn't be any of these awful images that men use when they're opposed to women, and I feel frustrated. And it's no use the church proclaiming its mission to the world if in fact it is explicitly saying that this mission does not include certain groups for reasons that are entirely beyond their own control. And it's no good just proclaiming it, it's no good just having it as a slogan. We've really got to mean it, and if we mean it, then we will include everybody within that orbit. The important thing to me about Christianity is the figure of Jesus. I am interested in the life of Jesus, the risks he took, the inclusiveness that he lived out, the compassion that he showed, the healing that he offered, the level of teaching that he could aspire to because of his intellectual and his imaginative caliber, but most of all, because of his love for everybody he met. When Jesus met people, he instinctively loved them. He saw the good in them, he saw the potential in them, and he affirmed them as they were, where they were, what they were. And that is what has attracted me to Christianity and what keeps me trying to hang on, more or less in spite of the church.